I wonder how much longer this stuff is gonna last. Oh, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Didn't see you there. It's the Small Cleaner. How you doing? I know it's been a little while since you see me. Everybody's supposed to stay at home, self-isolate. So I've been cooped away down in my basement playing some video games. Let my hair grow really long. It's actually starting to get a little unruly. I need to get it cut soon. I don't know, but hopefully, in my state, in Pennsylvania, this will be all over soon in a couple days. Hopefully, everything will be lifted soon, and we can get reopened. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're not going to be talking about any kind of diseases floating around. But while I have been locked away before I start the video, I have been watching some good old 90s TV series, and in particular I've been watching Hercules, a legendary series, or Legendary Journeys, and Xena the Warrior Princess. Great, campy, 90s, cheesy goodness. Full of, like, innocent, lighthearted humor, sexual innuendos. There's, like, misogyny, misandry. It's all fun. It's all fun. It's 90s casual racism, casual sexism. It's all good. It's all fun. It's when everything was allowed. But if you have a chance, go ahead and watch that. It's pretty fun. But today we're going to be talking about the shithole of the North, the Great White Shithole. I didn't know what I was going to title this video, either one of those things. But I think I'm going to call it Canada, the Shithole of the North. But we're going to be talking about Justin Trudeau's draconian decree of just banning military-style assault weapons. What does that even mean? I don't know. Can somebody define it for me? Because apparently I don't think he knows, because what he's banning is a normal rifle that you go to take hunting or you go sport shooting, not something that kills people on the battlefield, which is what they're trying to insinuate with these weasel words that they have here, such as, where are we? Yes. Canada's government will make announcement on banning military-style assault weapons in the coming days. We have long committed to strengthening gun control in this country, including banning military-style assault weapons. So, to these people who are unaware, when they say military style, they mean the look, the cosmetic. It looks scary. Ooh, it looks like an M16. You know why an AR-15 looks like an M16? Because the M16 is popular. It's an iconic weapon. It's been used for over 50 years now. Everybody knows what it looks like. Everybody has seen it in movies, maybe has actually seen it in real life, used one in real life, and it's a nostalgic looking weapon, and it actually makes people open up their wallets to get something that looks like it. But to say that it is a military, like they use these innuendos where it's like they attach military or assault and then insinuate that it can mow down dozens of people, is just asinine. It It's a semi-automatic weapon. You would never take an AR-15 to the battlefield. It's low-grade steel, low-grade parts. It's not built for it. A soldier would not be caught dead, pardon the pun, on the battlefield with an AR-15. It's for civilian use and civilian use only. But what's silly when it comes to all this is that there's just the lack of unawareness in part of the people in Canada, and there's this one poll here which shows that maybe 78%, 73% of the people are in support of a ban on assault rifles, when I think this is a heavily skewed poll. I need to look into it a little bit more, but it shows the lack of awareness when it comes to guns. People don't understand what semi-automatic is, automatic, single shot. And I've done this before in a video. I've explained it in detail. I don't want to go through it again. But when when the powers that be, such as Justin Trudeau's government, which is weird because he lost the election, even though he gained more seats. It's kind of weird. He understands that all he has to do is change the words or add military or add assault, and the notions in people's minds go to a negative one. They stop thinking about hunting or going to the range or self-defense. They think about past conflicts. They think about bad people doing bad things. And it gives them that negative feel, and then they act and respond negatively when they're asked questions on these polls. And who knows, we don't even know what kind of questions were asked, because it's like, do you support a ban? Okay, this is probably what the question was: support for a ban of assault rifles. If somebody asked you, do you support a ban on assault rifles? If you didn't know or understand, you'd be like, yeah, sure. I mean, if you have a clue, you'd be like, well, what do you mean by assault rifle? That's what I would ask, because I understand what guns are, and I understand that they're tools, and different guns are used for different reasons. It's another thing that gets me is that the guy who did this bad thing in Nova Scotia, and of course I'm not using the actual words because right now YouTube is very quick on the trigger finger when it comes to memory holding and banning certain videos or even certain channels at this point. So I have to tiptoe around and use very neutral words to describe what's happened. So there was a bad guy who did a bad thing in Nova Scotia the other day. And the guy was insane. He was planning this. He was mimicking police officer. He mimicking the look and appearance of a police officer. He had police officer gear. He had a vehicle that looked like a police vehicle. He prepared, and he had an illegal weapon from the United States, well, considered illegal in Canada, smuggled in from the United States. And that's what he used to do his dirty deeds. But apparently Justin Trudeau, unilaterally too, I might add, so should be, and hopefully this will be challenged by the people in the courts of Canada, but I don't think so. I highly doubt it, because the legislature, who's supposed to be the checks and balances to the Prime Minister, because there's multi-layered government there too, multi-structured. There's different branches. Just it's not the same as the United States, but there are powers that juxtapose each other in the government, and the legislature right now, from what it seems like, is just failing to check Justin Trudeau's presumed authority to just decree that this weapon are banned now because reasons, and the reasons are that a weapon that's completely illegal already was used to end people, and now legal weapons, which don't fit the definition of the weapon used, are now being banned as well. It's asinine. So I'm here on this tab here, and I'm at the top response. I'm going to go to latest to check it out. But there's one here that gets you. Yeah, gang members are the biggest winners of Canada's new gun ban. Now you're thinking, Canada gangs? Yeah, there's a lot of gangs up there. There's the Native American population. They have a big gang problem. There's also in Toronto and Vancouver, you got a lot of gang problems there. Montreal's got them. Yeah, and side FYI for your information, I'm living in America, but I am a Canadian citizen. I'm a permanent resident of the United States, and so I'm connected to both these countries very closely. So I don't talk about it much, but you can see where my opinions lie by the title of this video, that Canada is just a massive shithole. And I'm glad that I left, and I'm glad that I live in the United States. But getting back to the subject here, this guy used a weapon that's already illegal, but the response is to ban over 1,000 weapons, 1,500 styles of weapons that are legal. And I was talking to a couple of my friends the other night while I was playing some video games, and they're just like, wow, pretty much he's just by a signing of his pen has just made all the guns in one of my friend's gun locker pretty much illegal. And he's one of the nicest guys I know. He goes to the range and he usually plays a lot, but like on the days that he's not playing a video game, he's probably out at the range shooting his weapons. He's just having a good old time. No problem. Never has an issue. But now, because some crazy wacko did something stupid, Canada's going to march in goose-step file with New Zealand, Australia, and countless other countries across the world that have imposed draconian gun laws to their legal population when they don't understand that criminals don't follow the law. They don't care. That's why they're criminals. That's their forte. That's their bread and butter, is in breaking the law. So the only thing you're doing is disarming people who are legal gun owners and giving gang members free passes. See, I go in here, so I clicked in this poll because I responded to a couple people in this poll. Like, new Angus Reid org poll shows 78% support of ban of assault rifles in Canada. And I'm like, define assault rifle. Because what does that mean? It means it, because we don't have assault rifles. They're illegal. They are automatic. They're selective fire, automatic weapons that are military grade parts, military grade ammo, and the person using it is trained professionally in a military setting to advance and engage the enemy. The civilian counterpart is it's an apples to oranges comparison. It's not the same. So trying to pass draconian measures under the guise that enact and use the words, the weasel words, and to change people's thoughts and minds to say it is the same is disingenuous, and it needs to be challenged. But there's a big difference when it comes to the mindset of a Canadian and the mindset of American. And that's why I love being in America. I love that go-getter, that freedom, I do what I want to do attitude. That's because that's kind of like who I am. If I in Canada, I would feel muzzled because there's not that same culture. America was born not from a revolution started over tea or taxes, such as Styx Hexhammer was saying earlier today. It was started over firearm confiscation. The British were going to advance on Lexington and Concord, and they were going to take a armory stockpile that the rebels had amassed because they need to look after themselves because they knew that the British weren't going to do that. The British were now becoming hostile. So they had to take it upon themselves to preserve their way of life and to defend themselves. The British were going to get in the way of that because they wanted to keep them under their thumb. And these people, they left Europe to get away from that. The British followed them there. The whole culture of taxing and authority. It followed them there. And they wanted to throw it off for good. And they decided to. The British said no, no, no. The rebels said yes, yes, yes. And history unfolded. But in Canada, it was a little bit different. The Canadians, they petitioned and asked, hey, we'd like our independence. And the British were like, okay, yeah, let's negotiate. We'll do that. So the Canadians peacefully gained their sovereignty without a shot being fired. But they're still a part of the Commonwealth. And the Queen is technically still the head of the government. She could just dissolve it and depose Justin Trudeau if she really, really wanted to. So, I mean, there's that. But it is what it is. And that's why I think the Canadians are more susceptible to just roll over and do as they're told. And I'm sorry, that's why the Constitution, that's why I like the Constitution. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms. Number 1 and number 2 are the most important. And right now, you can't be more truthful, because I'm sure that if I was in Canada right now and I was making a video protesting these guns bans and I was getting nice and colorful with my language, I'd probably get a knock on my door saying, like, what are you doing? Why are you saying these things? The thought police Canadian style. Alright, well, I think that will about wrap this up, because, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Gun control doesn't do anything to actually stop gun crime. I mean, they have 2 years. These guys have 2 years to give back their guns, so hopefully maybe a lot of Canadians will just, whoops, my gun mysteriously vanished in a boating accident. Like, I was using it to, I was shooting some beavers that were damming up on my property, and I tripped and whoop, oh no, it disappeared somewhere. I'm sorry. Anyway, I mean, what you gonna do? I mean, accidents happen, right? Anyway, and I'm not advocating for anything, so that doesn't come back on me. Anyway, so I hope everybody stays healthy, stays safe, has a good time, and Canada, anybody up there, if I have anybody watching from Canada, please hit up your member of parliament, hit up anybody in the government that you know, give them an email, leave them a message, tell them that you don't like being controlled by authoritarian draconian measures, and that you would like the freedom to take care of yourself by using the tool that you legally own. Alright, with that, I'm going to tell you guys have a good one. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will catch you in the next video. Alright, this is Swamp Cleaner. You have a good one. Bye.